Miss me, baby. Fuck it!
In the opening scene, a team of highly trained police officers in Malta is closing in on the infamous mercenary known as Ryder. They detect the faint sound of a television, indicating that someone is inside. They swiftly enter the apartment, conducting a thorough search, but are unable to locate Ryder. Colonel Hart, the commanding officer of the mission, oversees the operation through the officer's body cameras. As tensions rise, Hart receives an unexpected phone call from Ryder, who is casually riding a motorcycle and preparing to carry out an assassination. Hart pleads with Ryder to reconsider and engage in conversation, desperate to prevent the attack. However, Ryder abruptly hangs up, leaving Hart with the alarming realization that the target is none other than the President of the United States. In a state of panic, Hart instructs his team to track Ryder's location using satellite surveillance, hoping to avert disaster. Meanwhile, the President of the United States is concluding a high-profile meeting with the President of Malta. Unbeknownst to them, Ryder has already infiltrated a nearby building. Instead of delivering a fatal shot, Ryder wounds the President in the arm, leaving him injured but alive. Ryder then makes a swift escape from the country, having only partially completed his mission. 6 months earlier, Ryder arrives in Malta to meet his pregnant sister-in-law Jenna and his brother Bulldog. Colonel Hart has devised a mission for Ryder, but he expresses reservations about serving under Hart's command. Despite Ryder's hesitations, Bulldog reassures him that the operation presents significant profit potential. During their drive, Jenna playfully suggests to Ryder that it might be time for him to find a partner and settle down. However, Ryder dismisses the idea, still emotionally affected by his previous relationship. Upon their arrival at the expansive villa, the rest of the team, a diverse group of mercenaries, welcomes Ryder. Colonel Hart soon arrives on the scene, and tensions escalate as Ryder and Hart confront each other. Their shared history is fraught with resentment due to a past mission where Hart's negligence resulted in loss of life. Despite his aversion to Hart, Ryder agrees to participate in the mission primarily out of loyalty to Bulldog. He makes it clear, however, that he has no desire to see Hart again once the operation concludes. That evening, the team celebrates and enjoys themselves late into the night, attempting to relax before the mission. In contrast, Ryder remains aloof, seated alone, and deeply contemplative. The following day, Colonel Hart formally outlines the details of Operation Brimstone. The target is Khalid Mustafa Taff, a former farmer who has ascended to become a formidable Libyan warlord. This mission is critical as Khalid's increasing influence poses a threat of drawing the United States into a proxy war in the region. The team meticulously prepares their equipment for the perilous operation ahead. After a brief moment of dramatic slow-motion camaraderie, by dusk, the crew arrives at the designated location and begins a stealthy march toward their objective, moving like shadows in the darkness as they swiftly eliminate a group of soldiers gathered around a fire. Meanwhile, Ryder leads a four-man assault team with snipers covering their advance. They proceed cautiously deeper into the complex, executing their movements with precision and care. However, upon entering the room, they discover that Khalid is not present. Instead, they find a laptop ominously placed on a table, and as Ryder begins to brace for the worst, a bomb detonates, instantly killing one of their team members. As enemy soldiers swarm the property, chaos erupts, forcing the crew into a desperate firefight. Despite their efforts to protect one another, the relentless waves of adversaries inflict injuries and fatalities among squad members. Meanwhile, Colonel Hart converses quietly with Khalid in his office. In a shocking act of betrayal, Hart reveals that he intercepted a group of mercenaries who intended to assassinate Khalid and chose to ally with the warlord to further his own agenda. Back in the complex, Bulldog makes the ultimate sacrifice by throwing himself into the line of fire. Despite sustaining multiple gunshot wounds, he successfully detonates a grenade, eliminating the attackers. Ryder desperately pleads for his brother's lifeless body to awaken, but it is too late. Bulldog has already succumbed to his injuries. Ryder escapes as the situation deteriorates, while Hart, back at headquarters, misleads Jenna by claiming he has not received any updates from the unit. Sensing that something is amiss, Jenna implores Hart for clarification, but he instructs her to rest and reassures her that everything will be fine. As she prepares to depart, Hart betrays her and takes her life in a final act of treachery. Fast forward 6 months to Portugal, where the President of the United States is scheduled to meet with key officials. During this time, he confers with his personal advisor, Joshua Reed, who strongly advocates for Colonel Hart's promotion to a senior position within the CIA. Reed believes that Hart has delivered results and could be a significant asset. However, the president exercises caution, voicing concerns about Hart's propensity for creating issues and his questionable credibility. Reed is so committed to his objective that he is willing to jeopardize his own safety to support Hart, referring to him as a highly confidential insurance policy. He also assures the president that he will prevent any negative information from reaching the media to protect the president's reputation. Reluctantly, the president consents, but only on the condition that Hart undergoes a trial period before any permanent decisions are made. Hart swiftly arrives at his post in London and informs his team that they are engaged in a conflict with adversaries intent on undermining their way of life. Meanwhile, Ryder approaches a club in Italy and gains entry. Selena, the woman in charge, notices him and sends her men to greet him warmly. Despite being somewhat out of practice, Ryder engages in combat with the soldiers until he is ultimately subdued. He regains consciousness shackled to a wall, and Selena comes to see him. She expresses her anger, having believed he was dead and mourned for him. She then frees him, curious about his reasons for returning. Ryder has returned to seek retribution, revealing to Selena that all of his friends, including the pregnant Jenna, have perished. Selena informs Ryder that Hart is now beyond reach, to which Ryder expresses a preference for targeting the president instead. He conveys to Selena that he requires a team that includes her, but she declines, stating that she will attend his second funeral. Joshua reaches out to Hart, who is at home with his grandchildren, urging him to turn on the television. There, Hart discovers reports regarding the failed Khalid mission, along with bodycam footage. Joshua insists on addressing the situation promptly to avoid further embarrassment. At his workplace, Hart's team identifies the source of the footage and recognizes Ryder through satellite surveillance. Meanwhile, Ryder secures an apartment, but a police unit arrives shortly thereafter. The officers break into Ryder's flat, but he quickly subdues them before making his escape. Outside, he confronts a swarm of approaching officers, managing to evade capture despite being shot in the back. He takes a vehicle and returns to Selena's club, where she offers her assistance. Selena tends to his wound as he begins to lose consciousness. Before waking up on her property, he experiences a flashback regarding his brother's death. He steps outside to speak with her. Selena informs him that his image has been widely circulated in the news and that he is in serious jeopardy. Nevertheless, Ryder has devised a plan. Concerned for his safety, Selena decides to help him. At that moment, a man arrives with a vehicle equipped for discreetly transporting Ryder to Malta. Although Ryder is wary of the man, Selena clarifies that he currently has no other options. Joshua and Hart engage in a conversation with the president, who expresses his concerns regarding the recent findings. The president advises Hart to rectify his errors, while Joshua offers to manage the public relations aspect. Hart then informs Joshua that Ryder has surfaced in the city, prompting Joshua to instruct him to take all necessary measures to apprehend him. Meanwhile, Selena and her associates meet Ryder's transport driver in Malta to complete a cash transaction. However, the driver arrives accompanied by armed associates. After Selena hands over the cash, the driver claims it is inadequate before verifying it. Despite their prior agreement, Ryder, sensing the CIA's interest in him, demands a larger sum. As he attempts to draw a weapon, Selena swiftly disarms him, resulting in a confrontation between the men. Despite being outnumbered, Selena's trained operatives engage the goons and ultimately prevail. They then abduct Ryder and return to Selena's club to strategize. Selena presents a comprehensive plan detailing the numerous tunnels beneath the island and must make strategic decisions on how to effectively navigate their target through them. While two of her men infiltrate the catacombs to set explosives, she provides Ryder with a high-powered sniper rifle, instructing him to ensure accuracy. Ryder's strategy involves forcing the president's security detail into an ambulance under Selena's control, which she will then transport to Ryder within the catacombs. On the day of the president's speech, Ryder departs on his motorcycle while Selena's team makes final preparations. Joshua declines Hart's call. As the president steps out to greet the cheering crowd, Ryder takes a shot, hitting the president in the arm. Before the Secret Service can evacuate him, one of Selena's associates activates a device that disables the president's vehicle. Selena and her team arrive in an ambulance, prompting the agents to board without hesitation. Observing the motorcade, Hart instructs his soldiers to remain with the ambulance due to its suspicious nature. Meanwhile, Selena, who is posing as a nurse, administers a concoction that renders the president unconscious. After briefing the operatives on board, Selena and her driver engage the guards in a physical confrontation. During this violent encounter, both agents draw their weapons and attempt to fire, but Selena and her driver work diligently to fend them off. The vehicle crashes into a wall, triggering explosives. When the agents arrive to investigate the scene, Selena and her partner have already retreated underground with the president, using explosives to obscure their escape route. Hart then informs his team that they have lost track of the president. The men move swiftly, carefully extracting the president from the van. Within the dimly lit bunker, Ryder steps forward to engage the president. As Ryder discloses his identity, he explains that he previously served the U.S. government under Colonel Hart's command. The president's expression shifts as he connects the dots, and recognition dawns upon him. He begins to grasp not only who Ryder is, but also the reasons behind the unfolding events. The seriousness of the situation becomes apparent, and the president, striving to regain his composure, inquires about Ryder's expectations of him. Ryder's response is calm and steady. He does not seek wealth, power, or conventional vengeance. Instead, he urges the president to confess, to disclose the disturbing truths that have been hidden from the public. The scene then transitions to a serene chapel, where a female journalist walks thoughtfully down the aisle before kneeling at the altar in prayer. As she turns slightly, she notices Ryder standing silently nearby. Without uttering a word, he hands her a thumb drive. This drive facilitates the rapid dissemination of information, leading to major news networks broadcasting the shocking video of the president's confession. This revelation ultimately drives Joshua to take his own life. Meanwhile, Colonel Hart is seen in hiding in Havana, Cuba. As he enters his vehicle, he encounters Ryder, who activates a device that detonates Hart's car before walking away, seeking retribution for his fallen comrades. Ryder then reunites with Selena, who is waiting for him, and together they drive away. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe for more of these recaps.